Okay, friends, this has been quite a journey. Welcome, welcome. If you are here to learn about biohacking your hormones for the holidays, yippee, yay, yay. We have been trying to get on Dr. Lakeisha, and I have been. She should be coming on in just a moment. I have sent her an invite. Okay. Um, Facebook has changed things up as they tend to do. And so we are trying to get in here and make this happen for you all today. Like, we've been real committed. I just want to let you all know this is what commitment looks like for commitment. I am hoping that this is going to work. We're going to be all set. Let's see. Oh, yes, here's the good stuff. All right. So when Dr. Keisha gets in, let me check her. I'm excited because everything that I was looking for, uh-oh. Okay. Everything I was looking for. Okay. I'm letting her know that she can come back because we're making magic happen. We are making it happen. Hi. All right, so she should be coming on in just a moment. And I would love to know, as you are joined, first of all, I really want to know, did you try to join earlier? Or is this your first time that you're joining? Because we have literally been trying to get onto this for 44 minutes. So it has been a bit, it's been a little bit special. That's what I'm going to say. So as soon as Dr. Lakeisha gets on, I'll be able to make sure. Ooh. Okay, she's in. Let's see. Okay, now you should be able to request to join the video. Okay, so I'm saying, do you see there's a little, it says that I can allow you, let me see, maybe I can go to you. Nope. Comment. Nope. Do you see the button now, Dr. Lakeisha? Yeah, I can't. And it also said that it sent you a request. So, oh boy, nope, didn't mean to press that little button. I can't wait for you to get on. Now I'm like I'm super excited. I mean, I was excited before, don't get me wrong, but now I'm really like, we're so close. We're so close. All right, give me in the comments, let me know what you have going on over there. If you will, please. Do you see the button, Dr. Lakeisha? Ah, there we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah. Unable to add guests. They can't be added to your broadcast while the user is connecting. Okay, you got to finish connecting. It says that it's adding. Can I be happy yet? Is happiness mine to have? Adding. It says that it's adding, but you've got to be connected, Dr. Lakeisha. So I don't know. We're getting so close. We're getting so close. Talk about biohacking. Like we are, okay. Oh, okay. Hey, Adrian. I bet that's been you popping in and out of there. We are trying to bring in our special guest, Dr. Lakeisha. All right. Dr. Lakeisha, it says that there was that you didn't come on. Let me see what is happening here. Okay. All right, I'm sending you an invite again. Let's see what happens this time. Okay, it says that it's adding you again. If indeed this does not work this time, and you may just want to send me a comment and let me know what's happening. It says it's adding you. Are you getting any notification on your side, Dr. Lakeisha? Oh, wait a minute. What is this saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think I know what happened. I think I know what happened. I think that you were requesting and I was requesting you. So, okay. Don't request. No, go ahead and request. You request and I'm going to wait. Since you figured out how to request, Dr. Lakeisha, I'm going to just wait. I'm not going to add you in. Send the request. Okay, here we go. Approve. It still says send them. What the complete heck? Approve. If they accept, they can join. Your audience is set to custom, so only the people you select. Yes, I know, and I'm sending an invite. Wow. Okay. Well, I am literally getting a thing saying that you cannot join. I don't know. This is super crazy. All right, ladies. This is not going to work right here. And I don't know why, but it keeps custom. Let me try one other thing though, because it's saying that I have something set up for customs. All right, I am ready to say we're going to have to reschedule this because this is beyond my technical abilities and I'm not for sure what's going on. Oh, but I just made it later. Yay. All right, so it keeps saying that yeah, it's saying that it's adding her, but it's not allowing her to come in. So I'm just going to trust that that means that for today, this is not supposed to. Oh, no way. No way.
All of a sudden, it just, something popped up and it was like, join with audio only or video and audio. And oh my gosh. Yeah, we need a moment.
I need a moment and a drink and a few other things if I were to tell the whole truth.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. We're here.
Okay. Listen,
I was having to, I could not see it on my desktop. They want us to use this like IG. I could only see what you were talking about once I got on my phone.
Yeah. No. It was not allowing me to do it on my desktop. None of these features were on my none of them. And I'm just like, anyway, okay, so that's gonna be for a conversation for another day.
Another day.
I literally was like, I'm pulling the plug. This is not coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're here.
Yeah.
So
we are. Woo!
Yeah. I don't know if you can biohack this, but if you can, I'm ready. Let's go. Biohack this. I'm just gonna sit back and how we biohacking this, because this. Okay. Yeah. 52 minutes, y'all. 52 minutes. That's what it's taking us to get on. But we're on. Adrienne, if you're here, would love to drop us some love over here in these comments. Let's see. I don't know if you are here or not, because I'm on my doggone phone and I don't even know where these are. So, all right.
Wow. Yeah.
Here.
I think I see the live chat. I can see a live chat.
Okay.
Let me make sure my stand is secure.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm definitely not very secure, but we're gonna make this work because I don't want to do anything to. All right.
Different. Yeah.
So.
Wow. This is actually a great way to start our conversation. Really, Heidi. It really is.
Okay, I'm gonna go with you with that. I'm gonna go with you that, and I get it, right? Like, I think so. Welcome, if you're watching live or if you are watching in the replay. If you have been trying like we have for the last hour, get in, because I've been seeing people come on and we literally could not come on. We couldn't get on, like the both of us. So we're here now. Again, thank you for your patience, and it is a good way to start the conversation around managing stress and dealing with the overwhelm and figuring all that out. So first, let me just say, I have Dr. Lakeisha with us. She is an amazing individual. She is a hormone specialist. I don't have your amazing intro in front of me, but what I can tell you is that she works with perimenopausal women, menopausal women, which she lovingly calls us the hormone hotties, and really looking at how do we elevate our lives by hacking into our hormones. Now she's going to say that much prettier when I turn the mic over to her. However, I just want you to know that if you are, what is it, over 40?
Yeah, we'll start there. Yes.
Okay.
Because there's some special circumstances, but yes, let's generalize it for 40. Yeah. Yes, if you're over 40.
Yeah, like I'll say it this way, that perimenopause and menopause is basically something that most of us that are that identify as females are going to experience. And wow. Dr. Lakeisha is also an author, and she's going to tell you about her book and ways that you can connect with her. I'm super excited that she was kind and patient and courageous enough to stay in the process. So we literally have been trying for about an hour to get online, and it was stressful. Like I was sitting here sweating. Like I'm sitting here literally.
I know you were. Yeah. Right.
And so since this is a great place to start, do tell. Like,
oh my gosh. I'm I'm actually excited that this happened this way because we get to see it in real time. We get to do a biohack in real time. This
Okay.
is
I'm
awesome.
here for it.
Oh my gosh. So, like Heidi so graciously said, I'm Dr. Lakeisha. I'm an integrative gynecologist, a hormone specialist, speaker, best-selling author of The Other PMS, Your Survival Guide for Perimenopause and Menopause. And I help perimenopausal and menopausal women like you get your hormones balanced, regain mental sharpness, have energy to last the entire day. And I do that through my concierge practice, my speaking circuit, and my Amazon bestseller. So if you want to be a hormone hottie, you can follow me on all social media at Dr. Lakeisha MD. And what I'm literally on a holiday speaking tour. So this is my first stop. I'm super excited. So if you want to do the replay on here, or if you happen to be on IG later next week, you can catch some of my other stops on some of the other platforms. And we're going to, talk about this again. Maybe I'll add a couple of extra spicy things in here because my brain just kind of moves in it and it kind of goes where it needs to go around that topic. I tell women all the time, I'm your medical interpreter. That's what happens. I become your medical interpreter, which means I help you understand what's going on inside your body, and I'm able to connect those dots so that the symptoms you're experiencing on a daily basis, I tell you the physiology and biology behind it and help you realize you're not crazy. Okay, because that's the biggest thing that I hear in my practice. And when women come to talk to me, when I give talks and things, they're just like, oh my gosh, I thought I was going crazy. And so the reason I am excited because of what has happened. So Heidi was talking about, oh my gosh, I'm sitting over here, I'm sweating, I'm literally sweating, woo, 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 right? So Heidi, you experienced bringing the sympathetic nervous system online.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
a fight or flight response.
Mm-hmm.
There was a signal that happened here in the brain, in the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the amygdala, all of these nice little structures that literally started sending out chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Those chemicals then sit on little receptors that then allow the cells to do another thing. It's like a relay race, and it sends the next message, and it says, hey, no, now it's your turn. This is what you're supposed to do. Oh, now it's your turn. This is what you're supposed to do. And what happens is then it sends out a signal to the rest of the body, an end organ, which is your adrenals.
Mm-hmm.
And those adrenals are there to help you survive. And so adrenals know, oh, I'm supposed to dump a little bit more adrenaline, norepinephrine, epinephrine, cortisol. I'm supposed to help the temperature go up. I'm supposed to help her muscles be able to contract because she's got to run. Now, what needs to happen now is we got to bring the parasympathetic nervous system back on board. Because if we let the sympathetic nervous system just stay there at this high level, you're going to experience inflammation in your body. Because inflammation is almost like a mediator or like a middle response to this whole sympathetic nervous system. And what should happen is you have these little ions, these little electrons that are floating around in the body. This is the chemical process that's happening, and they're looking for places to go. Now we're going to get into a little bit of physics. You got a circuit, you got some electricity that's going through a circuit. And what does electricity want to do? It wants to go someplace and get discharged. Well, now you're in a closed circuit. If you don't bring the parasympathetic nervous system, it can't go anywhere. You got all this energy, all this flow. Where is it going to go? And now what it does is it starts wreaking havoc on the system. When you have inflammation, the receptors can't do what they need to do.
Okay.
So then,
wait, Dr. Keisha. Let me make sure, because I want to make sure that all of us are tracking with you.
Gotcha.
I'm going to say it
because I do. You have to tap me on the shoulders.
Yeah,
you have to say, hold on.
I'm going to say, wait.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, my body got a flag thrown at it, like, hey, something's up.
Yep.
And when it did that, it immediately began to prepare me to be able to address what the thing was, right?
Yes.
And it took me out of my happy place, and it started to prepare me for a situation.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
But yet in reality, and this is, you're right, in reality, there was not a physical situation for me to address. It was really all psychological. It was mental.
You got it. You got it.
Girl,
You
okay.
got it. You
So
got it.
once all of these bells and whistles and symptoms are happening, and I become aware of it, because now you have trained us and you've taught us, this is what's happening. Okay, I'm aware of it. What do we do now?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I am so glad you asked. I love helping people understand and learning about grounding.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we were going, what's ground? What do you mean? Literally going outside barefoot and dispensing all this electricity into a bigger vessel that can hold all these these electrons and electricity, and get this out of your body. You know, we were little and we used to run outside barefoot,
Mm-hmm.
and our parents would be like, get back in here and put some shoes on your feet. There is a documentary on YouTube called The Earthing Movie, The Remarkable Science Behind Grounding. It is amazing. And I've had the privilege to actually talk to one of the people that are in the documentary, and just sitting there talking to this researcher and what grounding can do for our bodies when we have this response. And so think about this. So you had a situation, we were trying to connect, you were trying to bring something, you were trying to deliver to your community. And now the time is ticking away. Time is ticking away, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, you know, I need to, now I'm overpromised and I'm under delivering, right? How are they gonna look? How's this gonna look? Right, I'm in trouble, the saber-tooth tiger. Think about this. It's the holidays. Now you got to be around your family. For some people, this is a two-edged sword. I know for me, if I'm going to be transparent, it can be a two-edged sword, because it not only is a time for me to reconnect with family, it's also a time to bring up and re-grieve the family that I've lost. And to have to face now the dynamic that is in said family, because the dynamics are changed. They have changed. And so if you're somebody like me where it's a two-edged sword, you're like, oh, I love the holiday, I love to decorate, I love to do all this, but then, ooh, you have those reminders. Or you may not have that wonderful family. You may have, you know, the abuse that gets, you know, that ticks up around the holidays. You may have that loneliness, that isolation. And so that all of these things, they deliver the same message, to the same chemical message to the body.
Okay, stay right there. Wait a minute. Because I don't want us to gloss over that. I don't want us to gloss over that. Especially here in this community, because we are overachievers. We are the ones that do the most.
Speak it. Speak it.
So yes, your house looks like something out of Better Homes and Gardens. Yes, your meal tastes like, you know, it is the chef kiss on every dish, but at what cost? And
that
so I really want, like, I have goosebumps all over.
You and me too. You and me both. You and me both.
I'm like, we are co-creating.
Slow it down. Slow it down so you can speak the whole thing.
We are co-creating a trauma experience from which we need to heal from, to ground, to exit, to expel.
Yes.
And it's happening with the best of intentions. And I think that this is so powerful. Like, we may have to come back and do this again, Keisha. Like, this, we may need to do a part 2 of this, because the holidays, in essence, and I've said this for many years and working with my clients, the holidays are it's an on-ramp to the crazy cycle, both good and bad.
Say that one more time. Say that one more
The
time.
holidays are an on-ramp to the crazy cycle. They
Yes.
are. And
Yes.
we're standing in line for this thing, and we're excited about it, but we're not realizing the biological, physiological, emotional, psychological cost of it. And so thank you for breaking it down like you just did, because I'm like, oh, okay, we're working ourselves up. We're working ourselves up.
Yes. You work
Mhm.
yourself into a frenzy. That's
It's
what we understand.
self-inflicted. This is
Yes.
self-inflicted.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then I have another question. Right? And you know, I do a lot of work on myself. I do a lot of
Mm-hmm,
work
mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm,
manage my stuff, right? But
mm-hmm.
I have experiences like everybody else. And so my question is, as I was beginning, as my amygdala was flipping, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was losing my ability to stay grounded and
Staying neutral.
centered,
Right, right, right.
stay neutral. Like I could feel it happening. I'm like, oh my. So beside, because I couldn't go outside and put my feet in the ground, although I wanted to run around the whole doggone block, but I couldn't do that. So in the moment where shit has hit the fan and it's just not going right, what is something that I can do right there in that moment?
There are two things you can do. You can breathe, is number one. Studies have shown that breathing and that deep diaphragmatic breathing
Mm-hmm.
rewires the brain. It short
Mm-hmm.
circuits that amygdala response.
Mm-hmm.
3 deep
Wow.
breaths
Mm-hmm.
can do it. The other thing that I've learned that I got into, oh my gosh, and this was so good, tapping.
Oh
You know
yeah. Yeah.
tapping?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tapping saved me in the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
when everybody came home. Everybody came home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the schedules changed and the responsibilities changed. And I was waking up and feeling like somebody was choking me
Mm-hmm.
because that's my anxiety response, is that I literally feel like somebody has their hand and my throat feels like it's about to close up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found a community, the tapping solution, and I found and literally
Mm-hmm.
would just tap
Yeah. Yeah.
around
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. And if you
Mm-hmm.
can do that really quickly, that has also science behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these things, what you're trying to do, what you're doing is short circuiting that amygdala response. You are literally saying to the sympathetic nervous system, okay, thank you for alerting me. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. We're done with you. I'm going to bring the parasympathetic system back on board.
Okay. 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 I am loving this so much. I am loving this so much. Um, because there is another piece of this that you have also said that I don't want to gloss over. And that is the acknowledgement.
Yes.
The acknowledgement, because our little girl is screaming in the middle of the floor and is throwing a temper tantrum. The little Heidi, the little Dr. Keisha is standing and saying, oh my God, we're going to be in so much trouble. This is so bad. And I think that for myself, and I believe for many overachievers, we just want to get in action. We just want to do more and leave her there screaming and somehow believing that if we leave her there screaming, that our doing will calm her down. And for all the mothers out there, that doesn't work, because that 2-year old is like, you will hear me, you will see me.
You will see me. You will hear me. You will see me. And you will protect me. Because that is the
Ooh.
thing. I'm scared. Something happened, and I need to be reassured that I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So stopping and acknowledging her and saying, hey, okay, I see you. I understand that you're scared. I get it. I get it. It's okay. I got you. And I think that that's a really important step, is before we get into the breathing, before we get into the earthing, is to really acknowledge the pain. And, we don't want to feel it. And I, say to clients all the time, if you cannot feel it, you can't heal it. Even in that quick moment, even in the technology is against me, because technology in the moment was the saber-toothed tiger. I had a tiger chasing me. Literally, I did. It just was my doggone computer. And no matter where I went, it was just kept following me. So acknowledging, okay, I'm safe. It's okay. I feel the problem. And I'm justified. Like, I'm not crazy, because that's another thing that you talk about with your patients, is that we feel like we're crazy.
Yep. And
okay,
so oh, go ahead.
No, you go on.
So I know people are going to say, okay, how does this play into perimenopause and like how does this, doc, you got to help me out here, because it sounds like you're a psychologist, but you're an MD. Like, what's going on? Because that's how my patients used to look at me when I was in the traditional world, and they would come in and they came in for a GYN problem, and I would ask them what seemed to be some esoteric question, because I knew where I was going. I knew the connection. So this is the connection. When you are in perimenopause and menopause, and so I like to give some definitions.
Thank you.
Menopause is a retrospective diagnosis, which means we have to look back 12 months to see, have you had a period at all in the last 12 months? If the answer is no, 12 consecutive months, no period, you have completed menopause. And some people say completed, and I don't like to say completed, because you look like that, and it's like, well, that means I'm done with something, and I'm going to go back to something. No. I say now you're in the menopausal phase of life, just like you're in adolescence, just like you're in adulthood, just like you are in the menopausal phase. Textbooks, societies, those governing bodies, we like definitions because it helps us talk to each other in terminology that we understand. So they will say, once you have completed that 12 months, you are now postmenopausal, but I don't like using that because it gives the illusion that your body has done something and it's going to go back to somewhere else, and you're not. You're about to now spend the next you're about to spend a third of your life in this phase. Now, perimenopause, or some people are now giving it the term, the menopause transition, can happen 5, 7, 10, 12, 15 years before menopause. It is the time where your hormones do not go to the levels they used to go in the incremental times that it used to happen. So your cycle will be different. So how does inflammation interfere with all of this? When you have that response and the adrenals kick in, they interfere with your ability to have the hormone levels go up and down like they should. So for instance, you start making more cortisol. For instance, you stop making as much progesterone as you used to.
Because again, let me just say, for all of the other hotties out here, what happens, Doc, when we have more cortisol in our body?
Oh, there's a whole lot of stuff that happens. So actually what can happen is there's cortisol. Everybody knows about cortisol, but not too many people know about the cousin cortisone. Your body actually, when the adrenals are in high alert, when they've hijacked the system like they just did, they actually start converting cortisol to cortisone. Cortisone, the cousin, doesn't clear your kidneys, clear out in your urine as well as cortisol. And it holds on, and it makes you hold on to water. It also influences progesterone, so you start holding on to these things. It interferes with the type of progesterone you're making. And it also decreases how much progesterone you're making.
And what are the symptoms that I'm going to have when that happens?
So then you may stop sleeping as well as you used to. It may take you longer to get to sleep because progesterone helps with that cascade. It may interfere with your weight. So why some people are like, well, I'm not eating them. I eat the same. I'm doing the same things. I'm working out. What's going on? Your weight may start changing. That's probably the number two thing that most women come to me about is their weight. All of a sudden I have this gut. Like, what happened? I haven't changed anything. I've been working out 5 days a week. I don't know what's going on. Well, that's the other thing. Ooh, because then, so the workouts, I've had to teach my hormone hotties, your workouts have to change because you're stressing your adrenals too much and you're having too much, you're actually producing too much cortisol that's converting to cortisone. And so switching your workouts to be more Pilates based or yoga based, or not doing as much cardio all the time, not doing as much HIIT all the time, doing more things to pour back into yourself, to restore yourself is really what you should be doing. And so that's how this can look. When you have this inflammatory response, you influence your hormones. You influence how much hormones you make. You influence your ovaries' abilities to make the hormones that you need to. And your adrenals are not working in concert with the system anymore at all.
Got it. Okay, so as we chatted about this, we were looking at three things that us as the hormone hotties really want to achieve in our lives, right?
Yeah.
The one being able to absolutely, girl. Here's my what is it? My menopausal confession of the day. I had a hellacious morning, and I stopped to grab something to drink. This is the truth. And listen,
I know what you're about to say.
Listen, as I was at this restaurant, it's the middle of the day, I saw a picture of the most beautiful golden brown pancakes, and I said, I told my husband, order that. I have to have that. I have to have that. I have to have it. And it's funny because I thought about our conversation that we were going to have. I was thinking, I was like, Heidi, you don't want that. And my brain kept saying, you have to have it. You have to have it.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't even really eat it, but in my mind, I so felt like it was just the answer to my situation. So let's talk about these carbs for a second, Doc. Tell me, like, instead of caving in and getting, what is my other option for caving into the carbs?
Oh my gosh, this is where I start moving into the supplement world because we need a little help when we're in this phase of life. And there is a supplement called inositol, or a molecule called inositol.
Wait. Hold on.
I'm gonna spell it. Yeah.
Okay.
INOSITOL. Now, there are two forms of it, so you're going to need to write this down. There's myo-inositol, myo-inositol. So myo-inositol. And then there's D as in David, dash, I'm taking y'all to chemistry class with me. Chiro, CHIRO, inositol. So there's myo-inositol and D-chiro-inositol.
Okay, wait a minute, because my thing did an auto. Chiro is CAIRO.
CH. Hold on, I'm going to put it in the chat for you.
DHAIRO. Maybe I did get it right. Okay.
There it is. You see it? Yeah, D-chiro-inositol or myo-inositol.
Okay.
And MYO There we go.
Okay. Excellent.
What these molecules do is they make your body more insulin sensitive. As we get older, we get more insulin resistant. And that's because of these hormones dropping. So it's all kind of plays together. So as your progesterone starts dropping, as your estrogen starts dropping, and you could still be having a period, but they're dropping. They're not going as high as they used to when you were in your 20s and 30s. And so it's making you more insulin resistant.
Okay.
When you have more insulin resistance, you actually crave carbs more. So I have patients that I'll give them either this supplement, and there are different ways. The one that I love to use is called Sensitol. I'll put that in. S-E-N, Sensitol.
Is DIM one of these?
No, I'm very familiar with DIM. I love DIM to death. Yeah. But this is not DIM. This is not in the area of no, this is not DIM. All right. But Sensitol, and I have a dispensary called Full Script. So if anybody has Full Script, you can find it on Full Script. It's called Sensitol. It has both of them in there. That's why I like it, because there's some supplements that just have one or the other. What this does is it helps your body to make more progesterone, like it helps the ovary to do that piece. And it also helps your body to not have these big spikes of insulin. It actually helps with sugar regulation in the bloodstream.
Okay, so if there are any hormone hotties out here that are also that have these carb panic attacks, just put a number 1. Carb panic. Carb panic.
I love it.
God, I gotta have it.
Oh my
God.
God.
Whether you're watching in the replay or watching live, put a 1 in the comments, because we want to know. We want to know that you are there. We want to know. Listen, I want to know that I'm not by myself. That other people are not getting ordering. Other people are ordering pancakes at 12 o'clock on a Thursday. Okay, so that was the second one. That was the first one. The second thing that we were looking at as well was it was the carbs. Okay, wait a minute.
So we said you want to be able to laugh in the face of carbs.
Yes.
You want to be able to strut your stuff without joint pain.
Okay, let's
that goes.
That's the inflammation.
The inflammation. That is that inflammation. So if we go back to what we were talking about in the beginning, and you don't have a way to calm down the sympathetic nervous system, and you're always in a low grade type of fight or flight, and you have that inflammatory response going all the time, that affects your joints. That makes you hurt.
Okay. During the pandemic, I had gotten to the point where I could hardly walk. My knees, and I have runner's knee. You know, I've had like stuff that has happened before, right?
And that's different. Like you said, it's that when you have an acute injury, that it can cause the same thing, but that's different.
Right.
But I hear what you're saying.
I was like, my runners, like, I haven't been running. What? This isn't making any sense. Why?
Right.
But of course, you know, we're in a whole pandemic, and I wasn't going to the doctor. I'm like, because my doctor was in the hospital. I was like, well, that's not happening.
That's not happening. Right. Right.
I went to an acupuncturist, and love him, miss him. But what he said was, I don't know what is happening in your life,
but he read you.
But yes, he said, but it is showing up in all of your circadian and all of your rhythms. And all of your meridians.
All of your meridians. That's and all of your channels. Yes.
All of your channels are like screaming, help, help, help. Like it's the flag again. And so he was able to get me back right. That's why you saw me doing this.
Yes.
He was able to.
Yes.
Because I literally could not walk.
Do you know what acupuncture does? It's another form of grounding. So I have an old podcast that I have called House Call with Dr. Mac, and it's still out there in the internets if you want to go find it on your favorite platform. I did a conversation with an acupuncturist who was trained in China, and she helped me to understand acupuncture because I was really new to this. And I was like, really? Can I help me? I really need to understand. She said, if you think of your body in the simplest terms as positive and negative charges, they have to line up properly. If they get out of alignment, that is where you have an inflammatory response. Acupuncture.
Wait, because wait. Positive and negative.
Yeah, so when I learned in chemistry or even biochemistry, there are molecules, there are charges on them.
Yes.
And those charges, if they're positive, if a positive goes to a negative, that's attracting. And they line up correctly. If they're two negative charges or two positive, they repel each other.
And that's what causes inflammation. Okay, so Dr. Lakeisha, when this happens, right? And let me also speak back to our overachieving hormone hotties, because again, we have self-induced trauma, self-inflicted pains that we create trying to feel better from the traumas that have already happened. Okay.
Yes, Adrian, that's right. I'm agreeing with you. She told you to be quiet, Heidi. Shut up. You stepping on toes.
Okay. And sorry, I'm also being a mom, and I think that the neighbor is here for my baby, and I have to bust her head. Like, this is the most non-traditional. I'm assuming that's her. If it's somebody else, then like we got her. But listen, my thought around this is we're constantly putting ourselves into our trauma response, right? We're putting ourselves there. We either have become hyper or hypo. We're out of our range of regulation. And when we do so, then we are having experiences beyond the moment. The thing that I think is really rocking my world with this is it's beyond the moment of heart palpitations or whatever. Way later, we're in a space of my knee hurts. And I don't think that we are paying attention to the connection of that.
We're not. We're not. Now let me stop and say this too. All inflammation is not bad.
Okay.
Because inflammation comes from our immune system, which helps to heal us. But when that inflammation is unchecked and does not do what it's supposed to do, and stays around and stays around and stays and festers, and then there's a problem. So I recently had shoulder surgery, and I went back to my orthopedist to do my check-in, and I was able to look at my pictures. I saw my pictures before, and I had drawn some conclusions myself, but I am not an orthopedist, and I do not play one on television. So I wanted him to go through my pictures with me. And he looked at them, and so I have 3 incisions. I had 3 incisions. And he told me what I was looking at. He says, okay, this is the view from when I came from the back, and I saw that. He showed me the tear in my cartilage. It was like this little V-shaped tear. And then he said, let me show you what was happening in the socket. And he said, this is when I pulled the camera and came to the front view. It was red and angry. And that was an inflammatory response. He said, you see all that inflammation? He said, I'm so glad you did this when you did this, because if you had not done this surgery now and you would have just let this go on and on and on and on, it would have been worse, and we could have caused more damage later. Now I have inflammation that is helping to heal, because you have to have inflammation to heal, but it is purposeful inflammation.
Okay, so again, we must We must do a part two of this, or some kind of juicy connection, because there's so much. There is such a through line between my work and your work, because what I also just heard is what I tell clients is when your coping mechanism becomes your character, you have a problem. So when the inflammation is not just here to address the hurt, the issue, but it hangs around, then you got to, yes, Adrienne, I got you, girl. I got you. We are going to do a part two. It's a problem. And it's funny how the connection of mind, body, spirit, it's the same thing. There are things that we must do. We must shut down. We must disassociate. There are things that when trauma happens that we need to do to make it to the other side. However, at the end of it, if we have not finished that closed loop, allowed for an expel, getting it out, working through it, then it stays in our system. And that is when we are diseased. Inflammation has a problem. Child, I don't think, okay, so if you're someone that struggles with inflammation, so we talked before, our number one thing was carbs. Okay, that was a one for all my carb people. If you also are a person who struggles with inflammation in any part of your body, put a 2 in the comments. Put a 2 there, because we want to know like what you're experiencing. Boy, this is so powerful. So powerful. So in order to deal with inflammation, Dr. Keisha, what do we do?
So we ground, some form of grounding for inflammation.
Okay.
That is, and depending on what situation you're in. So you may be in a situation where you can, the easiest thing and the quickest thing is breathing. So 3 deep breaths.
Okay.
Or tapping. We touched on that just a little bit. If somebody knows about tapping, then you can do your tapping. If you don't know about tapping, we'll probably go into that in part 2.
We will.
Okay. Or do grounding, some form of grounding, like going outside, literally stepping in the grass barefoot, going to your acupuncturist to literally get a treatment so you can get that inflammation out of your body. Go look at the Earthing movie. That is a documentary on YouTube. There are other ways to ground. There are grounding pads for people that actually are your IT people, or everybody came home. So we're sitting here getting all this electromagnetic forces just inundated with it. So you can ground your equipment so that you don't get as much. You know, you can even ground your bed so that you can you can do that. So those are the ways that you can do that for the day. But if you're in it, the best way to do is to breathe, is to literally do some diaphragmatic breathing, literally rewire your brain with a mantra, with some type of I'm okay, or, you know, when you do tapping, acknowledgement, because we talked about that. Acknowledge what's going on. Don't just leave her in, don't just leave her sitting there screaming.
Don't leave her.
Say, you know what, even though I'm really anxious right now, I still love and respect myself.
Ooh, I love and respect. I love and respect. Rowena,
even though
Rowena is another one of our information checks. 2 things I want to say with that. I have marble. I live, now in Costa Rica, and I have marble floors. One of my healers here told me, she said, "Hey, you can ground on your bedroom floor because that marble is rock."
Because the marble has a charge.
The marble has a charge. The marble has a charge.
So
yes. So
stand there barefoot.
Right. We think that it's harder than what it actually is. And then I also wanted to say with the breathing, along with those breaths, we want to deal with calming that vagus nerve, right?
Yes.
And so if you do the Darth Vader breaths, is what I call that, where you're and you exhale, that vibration helps, or humming. That's another one too. So, very good. Very good. Okay.
One of the other things that another breathing technique that I use. Some people call it the smoker's drag. If you really look at a smoker, they look at, it's okay. They actually, it's real. So of course it's the nicotine that helps them, but it's literally the drag. So they literally slowly draw in, hold it, and then breathe out. So you can breathe in on a count. So like a count of 4, like breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. So that's one of those techniques too. Some people call it box breathing. Some people call it.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
that's the other thing. Yeah.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
and there was one other thing. There was the third one. You gonna move to the third?
I'm moving to the third. So, the other night, I feel like I'm your poster child. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, Adrienne asked, "Can you ground on wood floors?"
I'm not certain about wood floors because wood, I don't know if it's a real wood that you have in your house, what material it is. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm really thinking of, I don't know in the periodic table what mm-hmm. wood is. Like literally you're thinking of exchanging ions. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know about that either. The other, I don't know. I don't know about that, but perhaps we can look it up and we can let you know, Adrienne, to see. Okay. The third thing, this is back to me, Heidi, as the poster child. The other night, my husband, I need to let him watch this so he can understand what's happening with his wife. The other night, or the other morning, my husband was like, "You had a rough night last night." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And he said, "You woke up, you threw all the covers off, and you seemed to be having a nightmare, and you were drenched." And you were talking to me in your sleep and all of this, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Is this actually happening?" And of course, the thing about becoming crazy is, I have had nightmares that make me sweat, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But the whole thing about like this 3 o'clock wake up thing that's happening, and now that I've started paying attention to it, when I do wake up, even if a little bit, I just kind of check that clock out, and I'm like, it's 3 o'clock. So for the 3 o'clock hotties, 3 o'clock at 3 a.m. hotties, whether you're sweating or not.
Oh my gosh!
Please, like, come on, help us, Doc.
My goodness! Again, I'm gonna become a broken record. It's the hormones. It is our sex hormones that come from our ovaries and some from the adrenals, mm-hmm. literally talk to neurotransmitters in the brain, and they have company. They have little helpers called cofactors. So progesterone is the big one that comes in and says, "Okay, she's done for the day. Shh, everybody quiet down, turn this brain off, let's start landing the plane." So progesterone helps this whole cascade to start, where you take tryptophan, you turn it into 5-HTP, you turn that into serotonin, which goes into melatonin, and part of that even starts making cortisol for the morning wake up, because you have this whole cycle that has to happen. The cofactor, or the thing that comes along for the ride that makes sure everything works, is magnesium. So if you, part of progesterone, some of that progesterone breaks off, some of it turns in, I'm going to say break off, some of it turns into a different form of progesterone and helps with temperature regulation. So magnesium is the cofactor that helps all of these little things turn into the next type of molecule. So there's a little bit of a combination of things going on. Do you have enough magnesium on board? Do you have enough progesterone on board? Those are the two big things that can help you to actually get a good night's sleep. Now, estrogen and testosterone come in and play that tag team as well. So it's a little bit of both. So as we get older and our estrogen starts dropping and our testosterone starts dropping, we don't necessarily get into that nice little REM sleep and get that restorative sleep. And progesterone, if it's not high enough, it takes us a longer time to actually turn our brains off and go to sleep.
Got it. So perhaps here we're looking at having some additional supplements as well.
Yeah, so I start with the supplements. I'm always starting with like, hey, I know, you know, a lot of my patients say, I eat very good, I eat well, you know, I'm doing all the things. You at least got to Costa Rica. Love that. For those of us that are still here stateside, you know, the standard American diet is sad, and we are talking about GMOs and all this and how it's is genetically modified, and how the food is not allowed to get what it needs from the earth. I remember my grandmother had the most beautiful garden when I was growing up, and I mean, this thing, her yard was huge. They had this nice little modest home. This yard was humongous. I mean, she had a tiller. I remember her being out there with the tiller like this, right? And she would go, it was from fence to fence. And she would talk about, well, baby, this year I'm going to move the yams over to this side, and I'm going to move the greens over here. I'm going to put the pole beans. Yes, she was rotating her crops because she knew that certain crops would pull different minerals from the soil. And that particular plot needed a rest, so that then she would move her crops, rotate them around so other crops would give into the earth and take different things out. And that's that magnesium. So we have learned that magnesium is responsible to be a part of over 400 reactions in the body. And if you are not getting enough magnesium to replenish what it's done for the day, it can show up as leg cramps. It can show up as not being able to get good sleep. It can show up as constipation. So that's another one of those minerals that needs some help. That needs to be replenished.
It needs help. Okay. So as a recap, for our carb cravings, we're specifically looking at, I mean, because this is a universe of information here, but specifically looking at biohacking for the holidays. Number one, our carb cravings. And Dr. Lakeisha has put our, what about memory? We're going to talk about that?
Oh, yeah, girl. That's all the things. All the things. Yes, yes.
My daughter just told me, my 10-year-old just told me, this is a quick aside, that doing this will, like, if you're like, what's the word? And she's like, Mommy, do this. With that's the ring finger.
The ring finger?
Now, all I know is I don't know all the things. I'm assuming it has to do with some sort of meridian. This is also a yoga, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a yogi pose, right?
It is, but there is obviously something to it that jogs the memory. Okay, the word I'm trying to get through was supplements. Okay, thank you, Tatum.
Wow.
So she's given us supplements for Dr. Keisha. Dr. Keisha, giving us supplements for the carb pieces. If you are interested in that, definitely put a 1 in the comment. Number 2 thing that we talked about is strutting our stuff without having joint pain. And as we get older, that is something that we absolutely have. We talked through breathing. We talked through grounding. Like, there are just some real things that we can do to bring us back into being centered. And then number 3, with sleeping, we went with issues with sleeping like a baby. We went back to supplements. Magnesium. Is there another one besides magnesium?
That's the biggest one that I use, because really at that point, once you work with me, it could be that you actually need some hormones balanced.
Okay.
And that's what I really see all the time.
So if you are someone who is challenged with sleeping, put a number 3. So you might be a 1, 2, and a 3. There is no, like me, it's fine. I can put a 1, 2, and a 3 up in this thing because that is my truth. But whatever you are, would definitely love to be able to hear from you and to understand what you're experiencing. Because what Dr. Lakeisha has shared today is the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more. There is so much more. Now, Dr. Lakeisha, you also have something very special coming up. If we want to get more information, if we want to learn more about how to biohack, please tell us that. What is that about?
Oh my gosh. So I have a masterclass coming up that is the 5 ways to biohack perimenopause and menopause. And that is where we dive even more into this, what we're talking about here, where we're talking about more tools to be able to know, okay, it's not just about the Sensitol or this, what else do I need to do? Like, what is really going on with this insulin resistance, and learning what other tools that you have on board, that you have and that you can put in your toolkit to be able to feel like you have your sanity back.
Goodness, yes. Love it, love it, love it. All right, will you please put, if someone is interested in the biohacking, I would love for you to just put, you said my peace and my sanity?
Yes.
That?
Yes.
Let's put
Yes.
sanity. Just put
Yes.
sanity.
Put sanity
in the comments. If
you
that
know
is
what,
you,
Heidi? I have just been so moved to say, because what happens is a lot of people want to know, well, Dr. Lakeisha, can I just have a conversation with you? And because you have such a wonderful, wonderful community here, and they have just been so on point today. They have just been, I'm a teacher, y'all, at heart, and I love all the interaction. So if y'all want to skip to the front of the line and you want to just come talk to me, why don't you just go to talkhormones.com and schedule that consult visit with me.
Excellent. Excellent. So well worth it. As you can tell, ladies, this was worth the price. Adrienne said that all of our technical issues happened just so that she could have time to join us.
I love it. I love it. I'm telling you, universe conspires. I love it.
The universe conspires. The universe conspires. Rowena, we appreciate you. Adrienne, absolutely appreciate you. If you are here and you are visiting and we haven't heard from you, definitely want to know where you are watching us from, whether you're watching in the live or the replay. Again, what kind of hottie are you? Are you a 1, 2, 3, or are you a combo baby? All of it is good. If you are definitely wanting to get into you're interested into the masterclass is coming up and you really want more information, because this is the tip of the iceberg, put sanity in the comments and Dr. Lakeisha will reach out to you, or her team members will reach out to you for that. Also, we'll drop in the comments the link if you want to skip the line and like, no, honey, I got a personal situation that you need to hear about. Dr. Lakeisha is your woman for that. All right. Very, very good. I cannot thank you enough.
I have been in my happy place. I love to run my mouth about this, and you have just given me the ability to do that. You've actually helped my parasympathetic nervous system come back on board.
Well, it's funny, right? Because I began, sweating and now I'm just like, I'm just cool. The dog's been barking, the kids have come in, the neighbor came over, and I'm like, it's fine, it's okay. I'm on my mobile because I couldn't be on my thing, so I'm just gonna walk around.
You see,
the saber tooth. The thing that I'm taking away, and I know this, but the saber tooth tiger is my mind. It is my mind. I am both the persecutor and the rescuer, right? And we all are. And so once we realize that this is something that I am co-creating, I get to uncreate. I get to check that. I get to calm it. I get I get to be the tiger tamer as well, right? Yeah, yeah. And you have given us very real tools for that today, Dr. Lakeisha. I thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Ah,
Yeah.
3 feet from gold. I was just about to pull the plug.
Woo!
I was just about to pull it. I swear I was. All right. Listen, definitely sprinkle this into your timeline. If you are
Yes.
watching this,
Yes.
sprinkle this into your timeline. You can do that. You know, you have some other hormone hotties
Yes.
in your world that need to hear this. Please do give them the opportunity. It creates great karma for you. And it really allows this message to get to those that need to hear it.
Absolutely.
All right. Any parting words, Dr. Lakeisha?
Oh my gosh. I just always like to tell my hormone hotties to be kind to yourself. I think that is one of the things I am learning as I am maturing, as I am becoming more like fine wine. And it's when just be kind to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I heard one time somebody, or I think there are memes that are on all the different platforms. They have people saying different words out loud or phrases, and they're like, would you ever say this to your friend? And you're like, oh no. And they're like, well, these are words that you say to yourself when you
Mm-hmm.
mess up, like, or
Yeah.
phrases.
Yeah.
So be
I
kind to
love that.
yourself.
Be kind to yourself. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here, Dr. Lakeisha. We are excited. There will be a part 2. I don't know how we're going to be playing together, but we will be playing together.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I can't wait to see what we get to co-create in the midst of this.
Absolutely.
All right. Take very good care of yourself and all that you do. Choose to be well, lovelies. Choose to be well. Until next time.